Hello and welcome to the first ever 8th episode of Whoniverse Podcast, joined by me, Jamie.
Me, Brian.
And me, Lewis.
And this week's podcast is sponsored once again by Beer52.com.
Yay!
And we're giving you, the listeners, some free beer. A free case of beer.
Glug, glug, glug.
Beer52 is the world's most popular monthly craft beer discovery club, searching out new and incredible and exclusive small batch beers from the world's best breweries and bring them back to their members. Beer52 and some of the best craft brewers in the UK and all across Europe have come together to bring you the Brexit case. We don't know what's happening with Brexit still. Whatever the outcome, we love our European neighbours and their beers.
Still don't understand Brexit, if I'm honest.
There's lots of different beers in this case, and I think Lewis sampled one last week. What did you
I
think?
certainly did. It was nice, you know. It was an IPA, a citrus IPA, very, very fruity, very nice, very crisp.
Yeah. I tried the mango milkshake IPA, and that was lovely. If you like your IPAs, there's something for everyone in this case. If you like your darker beers, get yourself a mixed case. If you like the lighter beers, get the light case. It's so easy. Try your first case for free. You just pay $5.95 postage. That's 8 incredible craft beers for Mint Magazine and a snack delivery the next shipping day. It's a no-brainer. There's no minimum commitment. You can just take the free case, try the beers and see what you think. If it's not for you, you can pause, cancel at any time. Just visit www.beer, that's the word beer, followed by the numbers 5 and 2.com/Whovian to get your free case. Free case, www.beer, word beer, number 52.com/Whovian to get your free case. There are some terms and conditions. As part of a subscription, you'll be sent a case every month and that will be charged at £24. Full terms and conditions at beer52.com/terms. You'll get 8 craft beers, a ferment magazine and a snack with free delivery every month for just £24. Try it.
The thing that really sells me on Beer 52 is the free snack that comes with it.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I love a good free snack. Dried peas, I think you mentioned last week, wasn't it?
Dried peas I got this month.
Do they do non-alcoholic beer?
I have no idea. Why not visit beer52.com and ask?
And the salesman, Brian.
Thank you very much. That's beautiful.
It was very good. Very, very well pitched.
So, this brings us on to our opening subject, Topical Who. This week, Jar Jar Chibnall. What did he do right? After last week's tirade into everything that he did wrong. Oh, Jar Jar, can you do anything right? Turns out, yes you can. Jar Jar has written 20 episodes within the Whoniverse, starting back in 2006 with Torchwood. His debut Doctor Who episode was 42, and then more recently, before taking over showrunner, he wrote The Power of Three, in which the Doctor, Rory and his father were to stop the Black Cubes. And he actually wrote one of my favourite Matt Smith episodes where he rides on a dinosaur. It's like, there's a dinosaur in a spaceship! Oh my. But since then, what can he be accredited for in the Whoniverse? That's good. It's going to be a really short section.
Is that not enough? He also wrote Cold Blood and Hungry Earth, brought back the Silurians. Outside the Whoniverse, he wrote Broadchurch.
I never actually saw Broadchurch.
No, but I believe it's very good. And it's got David Tennant in it.
And it's got Jodie Whittaker in it.
I'd say...
And Rory.
Oh yeah, he was a priest.
Arthur Williams. Arthur.
I'd say all the...
Arthur Darvill.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of the Sly Who references that he's put into Jodie Whittaker's outfit as well. You know, I've been having a look at some. While I've come across the news, I've been having a look at some little bits and bobs, and for instance, the braces on Jodie Whittaker's outfit very reminiscent of Matt Smith's Doctor. You've got the colours on the braces as well, which are and the colours across the t-shirt reminiscent.
Yeah.
Of
There's
the
also her hair. You know, where all the Time Lords have hair. You know, which is really useful. And we all wear clothes as well, which I also found, you know, really helped relate it to previous Doctors.
You're not having this, are you?
No, he's not.
It's really difficult. I mean, I do actually have some points. Every episode brought a tear to my eye. He's trying to keep the Doctor a mystery, something that Moffat didn't do. What Moffat and Chibnall do the exact opposite with the Doctor, which I guess is making it very difficult for me to transition to him. Where Moffat was like, okay, so here's a mystery of a Doctor. What happened in the Time War? Okay, this is what happened in the Time War. Okay, what's the next mystery we're going to ruin? And it was at one point it was this close for the audio listeners. My fingers were really close together. He was this close to revealing the Doctor's true name, and apparently they did actually have a name at one point, and BBC were like, no, stop it, bad Moffat, and they slapped him in the face and replaced him with Chibnall, to my dissatisfaction. But he's trying to is more in keeping with Classic Who, where I think Brian mentioned last week that the Classic Who was a lot like a history lesson, which is kind of how I felt about Current Who. Even the more futuristic episodes were very...
Yeah, some of the first Doctor's episodes. A lot of historical ones.
Yeah. But what did he do right?
He wrote 42. He wrote Cold Blood, Hungry Earth. He brought the Silurians back. He wrote Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. He wrote The Power of Three.
I was Dinosaurs on the Spaceship one. But at one point we're like, Who keeps a Christmas list? Like, and the Doctor's like, I do. I write to the Doctor. I write to Santa every year.
Didn't he? Wasn't that the one with the sulky robots played by Mitchell and Webb as well?
The sulking robots.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the emoji robots?
No. There was. I'm sure there were two sort of camp sulky robots in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
I don't remember. I don't remember there being any robots.
I remember there being. I can't really remember a lot about the episode because, to me, that actually detracts from Chibnall and not adds to, his legacy. I think that Dinosaurs on the Spaceship wasn't a very good episode. Just to put that out there, Jamie,
No, it's fine. Fun fact, Chibnall has never had an episode within the Whoniverse that's rated over an 8 on IMDb. Ever.
Excellent.
Is all his episodes... Oh wait, I was supposed to be saying good things.
Yeah,
hang on.
You just can't bring yourself to do it, can you?
Hang on.
You need to tweak your thinking, Jamie, on this one.
I'm trying to think of something good to say about him, but it's very difficult. That's too early, Brian. We're still trying to think of a short list of things Jar Jar Chibnall has done right, but it's really difficult. Lewis, I'm sure... Torchwood, I never watched the first series of Torchwood.
That was the best one.
But it was a very average show.
I thought it was brilliant.
I bet Class was better.
No, it was not.
It's coming from a guy who watched 2 episodes. More on that later. But Chibnall did actually produce a lot of the Big Finish production series seasons as well, and Big Finish was a key instrument in keeping Doctor Who alive during its hiatus after Paul McGann almost destroyed it. We might even say it was almost Paul McGann. No disrespect to Paul McGann, because he did redeem himself in the short for the 50th anniversary, where he was regenerating into John Hurt.
Night of the Doctor.
The Night of the Doctor, and it was so good.
There is actually a Big Finish coming up with Paul McGann in it. It's actually a master medley. It's got, I believe, 5 masters in it, something like this. One of the masters being the master from the Paul McGann movie that almost destroyed everything.
Paul McGann. Is that live and breathe? Jar Jar McGann.
You're just gonna christen everyone. You just
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
No, it's just Chibnall. Only Chibnall can have that. He's got a lot to make up for. But I did really like the writing in the most recent series of Doctor Who. I did think it was quite beautiful. I mean, the characters and the overcrowding aside, the actual writing was actually really beautiful. Whilst there were a lot of characters that maybe detracted from certain elements I would have liked, the writing was still spectacular. Always brought a tear to my eye, and he always brought out the best in all the actors as well. He always encouraged them to do their best performance, which was really good because he wrote every single episode. in the latest series, which is not common. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, if there's anything in classic Who, but it's not common in modern Who for the showrunner to go ahead and write and direct every single episode in the series.
No, there were, as I remember, distinct script writers, script editors, producers, directors. You might have the same producer throughout a series or 2-3
Who's
series.
typically the showrunner as well.
Rather than a role of a showrunner, which didn't really exist in the 70s and 80s.
Didn't know. So maybe showrunner's more of a 21st century term then. But no, he wrote, he directed, produced every single episode of season. What is it? Is it season
11? Sorry.
Season 11 of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So he has done. He was very involved. Maybe some would disagree. Saying maybe he was too involved. Maybe he should have taken a step back and let someone take the reins from him. Maybe
So it's
sort of mold someone else's image into something more in keeping with what he's creating in the Whoniverse.
So
But
it's
it was-
very much his.
It was his baby,
Yeah.
He was in full control.
Mhm.
Something which the BBC's actually taken away from him after
After he Jar Jar.
recent developments. Yeah, but basically he's been told he has to let in more writers, more directors for the entire series, for the entire next series. But he's got passion. He's very passionate about Doctor Who. He's got a long history of Doctor Who. Like Moffat, he's been watching Doctor Who ever since he was a child, and you have to respect that. But don't mess up again.
He does look a bit like a local Conservative councillor. You've seen pictures of him.
I try to avoid it.
I think I get where you're coming from with that one. Yeah.
I can picture his image on election leaflets.
I mean, have
every
you
May.
ever seen a picture of Stephen Moffat? It looks like a bailiff.
There we go, that's the next poll. What do various Doctor Who showrunners remind you of?
So, Lewis,
Hello.
We need theme music for Lewis's, whatever it's called nowadays.
what's it called?
Whovian News Network.
It's the Nubian Who's Network.
Oh God. Oh yeah. New News Network.
Hello and welcome to the Nubian Who's Network.
You know, right, Brian was like sort of easing you into it so you could start talking over it. I mean, it'd be an easy transition, but you can't take hand cues.
No, I definitely can't. But here we go anyway. So the first section of the news here comes from Ace Creeper on YouTube. Thank you very much for this donation to the show. You can follow Ace Creeper on YouTube, and he does seem to have his finger on the pulse when it comes to Doctor Who news. So recently the crew, the TARDIS crew, Team TARDIS, have been seen filming on Barry Island in Wales. If people don't know where that is, the hit show. The hit show Gavin and Stacey was filmed there. So
most of Doctor Who was filmed in Wales as well, in Cardiff. That's where the studios are.
And as well, Torchwood was set in Wales, wasn't it?
I've never saw Torchwood.
It was, yeah.
I saw a bad season at the end. I don't know what to talk about.
So moving forward, the crew, and I've seen a picture of this. Both Ryan and Graham, they're stood there in tuxedos while filming on the set of the new 12th season of Doctor Who. This could tie into the MI6 episode with the spies. And
is this the one with Stephen Fry that you mentioned?
We believe so. Yeah. There was someone on scene that seemed to know Ace Creeper and has put across what was said between the characters. So spoilers, guys. Graham, Ryan and Yas walk across the square. Yas is on a phone. Ryan tells her to destroy it before smashing the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
So all three companions are still in the series. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So
there's going to be more overcrowding. That's what I'm getting from that.
So what do we think this is about, really? Do we think it's sort of like another tech episode, like the Bells of St. John, or?
Here's what I think, and this would be really, really cool: a James Bond episode.
What sort of Ian Fleming? I was thinking maybe Ian Fleming is part of the episode, but the suits that they were wearing, the tuxedos that they were wearing, seemed too modern, to be
A modern James Bond.
to be influencing Ian Fleming in his writing.
I'm just thinking putting it James Bond now.
You just want to see
like
James Bond.
secret, the name's Bond. James Bond. Double.
Kind of crossover.
Yeah, but then again, like, who owns the rights to James Bond now?
I would guess Ian Fleming's family, or whoever they sold it to. Right, so interesting on that. Now, moving on, there is some speculation on a new costume for Jodie's Doctor. I've seen the pictures as well. There were some fan pictures where a group of fans were taking pictures with
new costumes.
A new costume. So
does she keep a scarf?
Well, we don't know. This is the thing. All we know is she was wearing her customary puffer jacket on the film set, but the part of the costume that could be seen underneath was like a long black trench coat made of fabric. There's some sort of speculation that it's the same episode because this was filmed in Wales as well. At the what was the building called? It was the.
There was a TV show.
The Glamorgan building in Wales, and basically we think it's the same episode as the MI6 episode.
Okay.
So we're thinking maybe sort of smart dress like the boys like were wearing on Barry Island.
Maybe we're going to see her in a skirt.
Yeah, I mean, possible.
It would be very interesting. Like, no one ever batted an eyelid. The old Doctor always is wearing a suit, and cause that's what men wear. But now it's like we have to, it's the Doctor who's coming in wearing a dress, and it's like, well, this is a bit strange. Like, how's the Doctor going to be the Doctor in a dress? Like, half of Doctor Who is running away from things.
So it's.
I've been talking at it very loud. Like, leave me alone.
So it's strange. You should mention that I mean, you can see the bottom of her legs in this puffy jacket with the trench coat underneath. So she's either wearing the 3/4 lengths that we're used to, the 3/4 lengths that we're used to, or something of a legless nature.
Legolas.
Keep checking.
So
for the teenagers.
So
I'm so glad I didn't say Douglas Bader then.
So all good things there. Interesting
it would
little
be
tidbits.
interesting for the regeneration scene if the Doctor starts wearing dresses and skirts when Jodie Whittaker becomes Idris Elba.
That's my dream. That's my dream.
Excellent.
Idris Elba as a Doctor. I've been campaigning it for years, and no one listens.
But Idris Elba wearing a dress.
I'm down for that.
You'll take.
You can wear what you want.
You'll take
He's Idris Elba.
Yeah, you'll take Idris however you
I find the Doctor to be gender fluid.
So the next, moving on, the next thing, I just added this as sort of why not? Basically, there was an April Fool's joke, and I just thought it was.
You really got me with that. I was crying.
No, that April Fool's joke did pop up as well, and I didn't use that link, thereafter. But
for everyone listening at home, at work, Lewis sent me an email saying Jodie Whittaker and Chibnall will leave Doctor Who, and it was a very believable title, and I clicked on it. I was like, yatta, yes, Chibnall's leaving. But I was also sad Jodie Whittaker's leaving, and I was like, my brain was going crazy. And then I realised what day it was. It was the 1st of April. I was like, oh damn it, it's not true.
So the one that I actually pulled up and thought it was it was quite well done, this is why I put it together, and it's an interesting concept, and I would have liked to have seen it as well. The title of this piece is Metacrisis. Now, they were saying that it was written by Russell T Davies, and
Legend.
Yeah, and it involved Tennant's Doctor and Billy Piper in the alternate universe, going on after the end of the episode Journey's End, and following up on those storylines. Now they even put a synopsis of the show on there, and some quotes from Russell T Davies, David Tennant, Billy Piper as well, making it less believable as it went. You understood. I understood from the first that it was it was a April Fool's joke, as it quite clearly stated that it was written on April 1st. But so the synopsis then is: on a parallel Earth, Rose Tyler and someone calling himself John Smith have been living together with a relatively peaceful life and their 2 children and retired police dog. The best challenge in their lives is where to go on date night, but their quiet existence is about to be rocked by something sinister stirring in Bad Wolf Bay. And then Russell T Davies quote is, I'm thrilled to be bringing this to BBC One. He wanted to make this spin-off since 2008. And it's not really until you get down to the David Tennant quote that you really would have understood that this is and always has been an April Fool's joke. He said, it's funny, every year around this time I seem to be getting calls from my agent about returning to Doctor Who. Right, so that was one of the things. This was DoctorWhoTV.co.uk. Shout out to them for.
Oh, I know those guys. They do good work.
Yeah. Now, this piece was interesting. I mean, maybe Brian can shed some light on this as well, because it involves Classic Who. Manchester-based World Distributors began to publish the official Doctor Who annual in autumn 1965, and continued until 1985. However, one of the years they didn't publish this annual, it was the 1971 annual. It would have been called the 1972 annual, but it was in 1971 that they didn't publish this. This was at the time John Pertwee had just finished the second series, his second series in the title role. The show was mostly Earthbound, with Doctor assisting the military organisation unit as a scientific advisor. In that, then, Brian, what would we expect to see in this annual? Do you think in around about that time?
There would have been, I think, an introduction to the Master. My brain's working properly. That's when the Master was first introduced.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was introduced in the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was definitely
much later on.
Definitely a Pertwee.
Great.
Yeah, the writers decided they need a Moriarty to the Doctor's homes.
So they needed someone for a sword fight, I admit it, yeah. But it's like Brian mentioned, he was the action Doctor, so he needed someone to have a sword fight with, and what was it, fencing?
Yeah, they had a sword fight, I believe, the Sea Devils, and it was, as I think we previously discussed, purely there just because both could fence.
Yeah.
Other things, I mean, I've read a few of the Doctor Who annuals. I saw one in a bookshop in Haworth when I was there on Saturday, for sale for £30. The 1981 or 82 one. I wasn't allowed to buy it.
There's
I
actually
told Catherine it was an investment.
There's actually a shop in Dewsbury called Cosmic Toys.
Yeah.
Huge. Well, not a huge store, but it's like a little mini museum of Doctor Who stuff. He's got a replica Dalek, life-size Dalek. It's bigger than me, and I'm 6'2". It's taller than me, and at one point it was actually on loan to the Bradford National Media Museum in Bradford. It's just massive, and we do actually have a pile of those annuals there, and a pile of books there as well, in the old Doctor Who books, like £2 each. And it's where I actually buy a lot of my Doctor Who stuff. Like every couple of weeks I'll nip in there and I'll get something Doctor Who.
Funny you should mention life-size figures. When I was living in York, there's actually a petrol station coming out of. Have you seen that petrol station? There are Daleks and Cybermen on top of that petrol station. Have you never seen this, James?
I've never been there.
Honestly, you need to see it. It's worth a drive-by. A drive-by.
So where is it again?
It's in York. It's
just on the outskirts. It's just get into York.
Yeah, it's near the university. It's as you come out of.
Do we know what the petrol station's called? What road's it on?
No, I'm sure we can find out.
Let's Google it while Lewis can see.
Right, so the reason I mentioned the annuals anyway is because
Huey Lewis and the news. That's what we can call it.
Huey Lewis and the
Huey
news.
Lewis and the news.
We're renaming
Sorry.
it.
Carry on.
I just got nerfed. So the reason I mentioned this annual is because a fan, Mark Wogan, sorry. So a fan,
Wagwan.
Wang guys.
a fan, Mark Wogan has actually put together this annual himself, a non-profit venture in which he looked to fill that empty space in fans' bookshelves. I figured it was something that was definitely an interesting read.
I didn't own any annuals until 1999, and it was a Blue Peter manual. And then ever since then, like my great auntie was like, "Oh, you must really love Blue Peter." Never seen a show in my life, by the way. So every year I'd always end up with a Blue Peter manual. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And what's a Blue Peter badge? Still to this day, do not care.
Does Blue Peter still exist?
Possibly.
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it since the late 90s.
The phrase is always popping up. What's your Blue Peter badge moment?
Yeah.
Well, it's gone.
It's
been into the space-time vortex, I'm afraid.
But yeah. So
right, and the last part of the news, basically, due to my due to my insufficient, looking up and processing of used material. I believe last week we spoke about the BAFTA and the Rosa. We didn't know.
We didn't know what the BAFTA moment was.
Yeah, so it was from the Rosa Parks episode, and it was the moment when she when she didn't want to give up a seat on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama. This was the moment that's been nominated for the BAFTA. I just thought I'd update the fans on that one.
There you go. I found the
Two
petrol station in question.
It's called. What's the name of the petrol station?
Inner Space. It's on Hull
Inner
Road.
Space Station Self-Storage.
Hull Road in York.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in York, listeners,
There is also a Cyberman there.
Yeah.
There's 3 Daleks and a Cyberman.
that's so cool. Do you think they'll let me climb up onto the roof and take a picture with them?
No, I don't think they will.
And I'll go in the middle of the night.
I bet you that's happened quite a number of times, actually.
Well, we shouldn't draw so much attention to themselves. But so the Rosa Parks episode is the moment that
that she told them that she wouldn't give up her seat on the bus.
I don't know if voting's still open, but it is actually, these moments are actually open for public vote as to who wins.
Okay.
I can't remember what the other contenders are, but you can go into the BBC Doctor Who, BBC / Doctor Who website, and you can actually go ahead and put in your vote for that to be the moment. BBC actually have 2 moments that are nominated for that BAFTA. One's actually for The Bodyguard. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, it's very good.
Was it really good? Never saw
I
it.
really enjoyed it.
Not a big fan of. It sounded very American. Bodyguard.
It was a very emotional moment in the show there, and I think that's what's pushed it for the BAFTA. Really, the emotion and the historic reference behind it, the significance of that action.
Well, you have to think about the actors and actresses that are there as well. Like Graham has to be the one that won't give up his seat. He has to be. Rosa has to give up her seat for Graham, and Graham doesn't want to be that guy. So as an actor, it was really difficult for him. And the bus driver, as an actor again, find it really difficult to just maintain composure and like get off the bus, you bleep bleep. So it was really difficult for them recording that section. So I do think it's very deserving of that BAFTA, just based on how close to home it is.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. End of the news.
So it's called Huey Lewis on the news.
Huey Lewis and the news.
Oh man,
I like that.
Huey Lewis and the news.
I like it.
I don't know. I'm still.
It's better than Newbie and Who's Network. Let's be honest.
I think I'm still going to go with my version. Sorry.
Okay. It's your section, see.
Yeah, I guess so. Right. The next section is TARDIS polls. Working title: Voting in the TARDIS, whatever you want to call it. Lewis came up with the suggestion. It was actually a very popular poll. Had nearly 200 votes, which was considering our Twitter account doesn't actually have that many followers. It actually did quite well. What is the best stream-based science fiction / fantasy series? Now we've got Stranger Things, Dark, Star Trek Discovery, The Man in the High Castle. So, who do you think won, Brian? Or do you already know?
I suspect it was Stranger Things.
Not Star Trek. Star Trek has a big cult following. I'm going by Lewis's arguments as we try to avoid a landslide. Nothing.
No, I'm sticking with Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah, Lewis.
Well, I'd like to think that that Star Trek had a show in there, but Stranger Things seemed to be the where it was heading when I last checked in the poll.
You made a Twitter account just to vote. So we got some comments. Now, Lewis, the first one.
Yeah.
Can you read it in a Scottish Glaswegian accent, please?
Do we know
Glaswegian?
Do we know if Chris Daisy is Scottish / Glaswegian?
I've no idea.
Brilliant.
The Expanse.
Now, we just said The Expanse. I don't know what that means.
It's a show. The one who does to put The Expanse in there.
Now, the next one. You know what? That was too good. I want to hear more of that Glasgow Scottish Glaswegian accent. Can you read the next comment as well? From Grunpup.
I watched Discovery through torrential rainfall.
Oh man, it's brilliant. I have no idea what this means. I watched Discovery through torrential rainfall.
I'm guessing it was hammering it down at the time he watched it.
Oh, unless he's watching it through Dixon's window. How is there rainfall between him and the TV screen?
Brian, I think the next comment, shall we ask for the Glasgow accent again?
No, come on, man. I can't do it.
Do it.
I can't do it.
Captain.
I didn't have the pool.
So, Lewis, what did Megski 1987 say, who we're assuming is from Glasgow, Scotland?
Megski, he sounds like he's from Eastern Europe.
She's Meg.
She? Oh, Meg.
Megski.
Okay,
Come on.
What are we talking?
I want my Scottish Glasgow accent again.
Okay. I voted Stranger Things. My wee kiddies absolutely love it. What are your thoughts on Castle Rock on Hulu? Dimensional travel, creepy characters, and is a win in my book for sure.
Oh my god.
Well, she can't be Glaswegian because she'd be used to creepy characters.
Well, we're doing this every week, by the way.
Sucky
Oh, yeah.
Every week we're going to come up with the most ridiculous accents for you to do.
I actually looked up Castle Rock because I thought we may as well do due diligence for our listeners and
Now, Castle Rock, one of the writers for Castle Rock is
Chris Chibnall. Oh.
well, Stephen King wrote a book,
He
but
wrote
not
a
the
book,
show.
yeah,
I mean, there's one of the writers that I actually follow who actually works closely with Kevin Smith, who actually inspired me to start podcasting. His name's Mark Bernardin. Don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a very prolific writer. He's writes anything with black people in it. Essentially, it's very it's very highly about representation. Never seen Castle Rock, but apparently there's a lot of representation for black people. I don't know what's the PC term for that. people of colour. I'm not sure.
I don't think
it's
it's PC.
Just people.
I have people. That's
Well,
the one.
it's a dangerous road to cross.
It is.
But
Yes.
no, so I just want to throw out there like Matt Bernard, and he's a really good writer. I've read some of his comic books as well. I've never actually seen Castle Rock. Don't actually know that much about
Never
it.
heard of it.
Think Stephen King and you're pretty much there already. You know.
Also, creepy as
Yes.
F. Yeah.
Definitely. I read the synopsis and I was creeped out.
What's the synopsis?
What's about?
I know what a synopsis is. I'm saying what.
You want me to recite it from memory?
I didn't say what is a synopsis. I said what's the synopsis.
I'm not able to recite it from memory. Sorry, Jamie.
So anyway, we had a landslide victory this week. Thank you, Lewis.
All right. Okay. Well.
57%. Stranger Things.
Yeah. Okay.
Followed by Star Trek Discovery at 26%.
Right. Dropped since I looked.
Yeah, and then we had The Man in the High Castle, 10%, and Dark at 7%.
I knew it was going to do, it wasn't going to get a good figure, Dark, but I truly believe it's worth a watch. It's, saying that I am an absolute fanboy for a time travel narrative.
You still go Scottish every now and then when you're talking.
Switch off the Scottish.
Just switch it off, man.
I can't, man. I'm stuck with it.
Can you do it?
I can't do it. I'm a little disappointed that it wasn't a bit closer. I actually waited for Star Trek Discovery myself. I mean, I've never been much of a Star Trek fan. I admire the series. I do like it, but I never. There's so much to watch. It's a bit. What's the word? It's a bit daunting. It's too much to actually catch up on. Because I'm one of those people who, when I start,
the entire thing, like
when I watch things, I have to watch it. I have to watch everything.
There's a lot to watch.
Exactly, and there's a bit too much in my opinion as well. So I did watch the first half of the first series of Star Trek Discovery, and I do actually intend on going back to watch the rest, and I do really like it. And it's a really good introduction into Star Trek as well.
I have actually seen all of Star Trek. It's a really good sci-fi, and I believe it's gotten better over the years. Some people are die-hard original series fans. I believe that some of the stories with Jonathan Archer and going into the new series as well, were really well written, and it was really well produced.
So, what do you think the next week's poll can be? Now, usually we try to keep away from Doctor Who references, but the last couple of weeks your suggestions have been horrible. Like you sort of scrape against the bottom of the panel unless you have an awesome suggestion.
I've got a suggestion. I'm not saying it's awesome.
Okay.
Best sci-fi comedy film.
Okay, so Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is straight in there.
Galaxy Quest.
I never heard of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I've seen Galaxy Quest.
Absolutely hilarious.
Trying to think of a...
Attack the Block, I suppose you could put in there. Is that sci-fi? Is that comedy, would you say?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And the one...
World's End. World's End.
Did Red Dwarf have a film?
No.
I mean, just bearing in mind, we know which is going to win so far.
That's
the issue.
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide.
We automatically know it's going to be...
I don't know, Galaxy Quest is very popular.
So Star Trek Discovery, but Stranger Things won 57%.
Yeah, we need to be...
Spaceballs?
Spaceballs was a good movie.
It's still always going to come back around to Hitchhikers though, isn't it?
Spaceballs might be a bit of a...
Hitchhikers wasn't that good a film.
It wasn't that good a film.
People have very fond memories of that film.
It's not just the
now,
film.
at the time, people may have hated it, but as time has gone on, like a fine wine, it's matured, and people have learned to appreciate it for what it is, an abomination.
Like you'll appreciate Chris Chibnall's writing
20 years from now.
20 years from now, if they teach Chibnall writing in school, it'll be what not to do when you're given the opportunity of a lifetime.
Okay.
Alternatively, we could do a Doctor Who one.
Have you got any suggestions for a Doctor Who one? I mean, I did have a poll on
Best
baddie. Well, we can't include Daleks then.
No, yeah.
I tell you, what about best B baddie?
What about best master?
Best master? Oh, that's a good
Best
one. But
master.
we only have, how many masters are there? Because we can only put 4 options in there.
Yeah, okay, so we've got the original one, Roger Delgado.
I'd want.
Wizened one from Deadly Assassin.
We could put in all our favourites, and then my favourite master is John Sim.
I will go with Peter Pratt, who played him in Deadly Assassin as a wizened old.
Yeah.
Well, John Sim as well for me.
Pick something different, Lewis.
I can't.
Fine. Michelle Gomez will put in there as well.
Yeah, Gomez was a good master. I like.
Throw in Eric Roberts for S&Gs. He wasn't allowed to swear.
Yeah.
Fair
Let's
enough.
do that. Best master.
Master.
That's the poll. Who do you think's going to win? John Sim, obviously. I think because of Russell T Davis's run of a show, John Sim had a very critical role as the master in what actually led to the ultimate demise of the Doctor twice, might I add.
But I might change mine to Roger Delgado then.
But
get some classic fans on board with him.
Well, that's going to be something we're going to look into next week, because it's time for Hooey Hoo. Just came up with a theme song and now it's ending. It's the finale for Class.
no.
Yes.
So Brian, you stopped watching it weeks ago anyway, but you can carry on not watching it forever. you don't
I
really.
shall not watch
You
it.
can stop listening to us talk about it.
Yeah.
But can I just say, Brian, you've really missed out. You've really missed out. It was.
Yeah.
I have some issues.
I have to agree with him, Brian. Originally, Class just seemed
The first episode of Class was a bit weak. It was just mainly setting the groundwork. From the second episode, the Coach with a Dragon Tattoo was amazing. And I think that's when you start watching it.
It was. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the second episode. I just couldn't commit to watching it.
It was better than season 11 of
6.
Doctor Who.
Right, so going over the storyline of this last episode, then
It was immaculate. So the Shadow King, he comes back to Earth. This time he's finally found a direct path through the cracks into space time to come direct to Earth, and he's basically killing everybody, everyone that's
the
close.
entire population, yeah.
No, just at the beginning, just the Night King. He's just killing people.
Oh, the Night King himself.
He
Yeah.
kills Ram's dad.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Ram's dad's blood didn't get splattered all over Ram's face again. Because we had a good number of splatterings in the first few episodes, and I was kind of hoping for that, and that might be twisted in whatever way, but
It was becoming like a recurring theme.
it was, wasn't it? Covered in blood. Ram,
Blood splatter guy.
the blood of his friends. And family members, but yeah, it was very.
It's like, you've seen blood. I've showered in it.
It was a very emotional scene at the beginning there, where Ram's dad just gets stuck by the Shadow King, and Ram runs back towards him and just swipes his hand through his face as he turns to dust.
Yeah, a bit like in Avengers Infinity War, actually. I don't feel too good, Mr. Clark, and he just blows away in the wind. It was actually, I think in the entire series, Ram's actually lost the most. He lost his leg, he's lost his father, he's lost relationships, he's lost friends. He played football, to an almost professional level.
And you can't.
Now he can't even compete for the B team. Of football. He's lost his social stature within the school. He was a popular kid. Now he's just nothing. He's just nobody.
He's lost his entire
life.
His entire life, hasn't he?
Without actually losing it. It's just everything's been slowly.
If it had continued, past. Yeah, I know that they did the audio dramas.
Yeah.
Big Finish did the audio dramas, and I think maybe I'll give them a listen to.
Just on the basis of that finale, I really want to know what happens next.
See what happens next. That finale, it was fantastic. And you talk about Ram losing everything, and by the end of the episode, he loses.
He loses April.
April as well.
Oh, does she?
Oh, does yeah, right.
Can we just skip to the ending really quick of the episode? And then we'll jump back.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead.
April dies, but then she comes back as the Shadow King in his body.
It seems that the Cabinet of Souls absorbs her soul, and she is the last soul that tries to destroy the last shadow, which is within Charles's body, but she's deflected somehow, and she ends up in the Shadow King's body.
I'd love to know a bit more about how that happened. I'm definitely going to watch listen to the audio drama that precedes it.
As well, does this mean that the Cabinet of Souls, it won't just hold Rhodian souls, but any soul that dies in the presence of the cabinet or near?
Well, I was wondering how that actually works, because it would never actually explain how the souls get in there in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, is there a ceremony and then they actually physically lift the soul and put it in the cabinet? And that's been, we've been doing that over generations. Not too sure.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, especially about how heavy it is as well.
Yeah.
This is like we could barely lift it.
Well, it seems to have a whole sort of planet or desert inside it, at least. From the previous episode with.
Yeah, because Quill was pregnant, but she didn't know she was pregnant when she held on to one of the lights. And then suddenly she went forward. It must have been a couple of months, because now she's heavily pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
So suddenly she's lost. She must have lost. If it's like a human pregnancy, I bet she'll have lost about 8 months.
6 months. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
6 to 8 months. In this episode as well, it's sort of hinted that Quill, sorry, you've got me going now. Quill's baby wasn't Quill. Quill is the race as well as the Miss Quill, the person.
No, it's half and half of that.
Of that
previous shapeshifter.
Yeah.
The one that's not Sontaran, but disguised itself as a Sontaran, so it could live on the Earth as a Sontaran, disguised as a human, which is a bit confusing.
But the Cabinet of Souls, it has some power where it can rebirth the race of the Rodin. What are they called?
The Rhodian.
Rhodian, and she grabbed onto one of the souls. Was that soul being reborn through Quill?
Oh, that's a good point. But then again, she did have sex like 5 minutes before that.
She did, yeah. And then time seemed to have lapsed 6 to 8 months. So,
yeah. So.
Yeah. So there is that.
I think her collapsing when she came out of the Cabinet of Souls was just a state of shock over what had actually happened. But it is really interesting. And
side note was that Tanya's mum also got killed. April's.
Tanya's now an orphan.
She is, yeah. Dad's dead,
yeah.
But her 2 brothers didn't die. They saved her 2 brothers when Quill was fighting the Shadow King in the library.
I don't think we ever saw her 2 brothers before that.
Yeah, we did. In a few scenes where they were where they were playing Xbox on the couch and that sort of thing.
Oh, so
during the episode where
well, we get to be orphans together now.
They were talking about a dad, where a dad was part of the big.
Thing is, I wonder, like, she's an immigrant, you see.
Her mother is.
Yeah, and her father was an immigrant as well, so with no one to like.
Well, her older brothers are quite a bit older than her as well.
I'd say with no one to actually have a job and to to look after her or anything like that. I wonder if in the next series she gets deported.
I don't think so. She would be a British citizen because she seems
it's a new series written by Nigel Farage.
Oh, breaking news!
Sorry, guys.
Can edit it out.
So, moving on in this, then there were a couple of other revelations that I wanted to discuss. One is the doorway. The Roman numerals on the key to the doorway state 1017. I don't know what significance this might have.
1017.
Yeah, and it said something on the door.
Maybe that's the Whoniverse episode number. Quite clever, actually.
Yeah, I just I can't seem to remember what it said on the door, but it said something strange on the door.
It said staff only.
Yeah, but above that it said something.
Keep out. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? That room, when you go in, it has some bad wolf tendencies to it. You're popular.
Yeah, no, it's my wife. So the other thing was at the end there, the Weeping Angel.
We had an introduction of a classic Doctor Who enemy.
Yep.
The Weeping Angel, blink and you miss it.
If I'm being overly pedantic, Weeping Angel isn't a classic Who enemy; it's a new Who enemy. But
I think the Weeping Angel is quite classic.
oh, they're great. Yeah.
I think the classic. I think it's better than a Sontaron, who literally looks like a potato.
Sontarans are brilliant.
Not as good as Weeping Angels though.
Well, they're all good points and bad points. I did notice on the 2 episodes of Class I watched, one of the buildings at Coe Hill School was called the Barbara Wright building.
Who is?
Barbara Wright was a teacher at Coe Hill School.
I knew
The
that.
First 2, Ian and Barbara were the first 2 companions.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing you, Brian. Yeah. You okay, Lewis?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Just texting my wife.
So, the finale, Brian, was amazing. You missed out.
You really
it
did.
was.
He's not overstating it this time. I'm actually 100% in agreement with Jamie.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I forgot what his name. What's the Rhodium Prince called?
Charlie.
He waited for everyone to die to actually use the Cabinet of Souls to destroy all of the shadow kin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I think the time that he actually used it was actually quite selfish of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely respect what Quill. I completely respect where Quill actually saved the Rhodium Prince's life after he used it, so that he gets to live the rest of his life regretting what he's done.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the Doctor lives.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a she wants him to she wants him to deal with it and be tortured, you know, like rather than.
I think she wants him to feel how she felt, where she lost all her people,
Yeah.
and at least he had a cabinet with all his people in. She had nothing.
Yeah.
It was kind of beautiful. And Quinn's gonna die. Quill's gonna die.
Yeah, but do we know that for sure? Because
Her baby's gonna eat her from the
but
inside out.
the thing is, she stated that it's not a Quill baby. You know, like she stated in the episode, it's not a Quill baby.
So they'll only eat half of her. The legs leave the top.
So yeah, we don't know fully what's going to happen.
And the Quill has 2 wombs, like a cow.
Yeah.
It's 2 stomachs. No, we've got 4 stomachs. Never mind. But yeah, it was really good. It left on an amazing cliffhanger with a secret court of peoples who, if they find you useless, and they will everyone's disposable.
Feed you to the Weeping Angels. They seem to be doing the Weeping Angels' bidding. I think.
Yeah, but like
some sort
spoke to
of
the Weeping
arrival.
Angel like he could speak back.
Some sort of arrival that we're talking about, like, and is it the arrival of the Weeping Angels?
That's why I want to listen to the next.
The
Six.
giant angel. Did you see that mural?
So
on the
there was
wall?
like a mural in the background. It was like a giant weeping angel.
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty was
Yeah.
a giant weeping angel in one episode.
Yeah, I mean,
Angels take Manhattan.
yeah. I always said, what if Statue of Liberty was a weeping angel, but it never moved because someone was always looking at it. What if that's true?
Oh god.
I mean, in the theory of infinite universes, in one of those universes, the Doctor is real.
Yes.
Which is quite spectacular. But yeah, so final thoughts on Class before we leave it forever.
Yeah, final thoughts are that it really did perk up towards the end there. I think it's worth a watch because it leaves you wanting more. It really does leave you wanting more.
I mean, if you were to rate the entire series as a whole, not just the episode, just the series, personally, I'd give it like a solid 7.5. Not as good as Doctor Who, but bloody amazing.
I give it around about a 7. A solid 7.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really good. It was better than the K9 series, which only aired in Australia. Just because the Australian was it ABC or something? Yeah, but they didn't want to relinquish the rights to the K9 character, the broadcasting rights for a TV show based on K9, so we just made any crappy show we could think of, which was the K9 Adventures or something. It did actually feature in Whoniverse or Hogwash at one point. But yeah, so 7.5 from me, 7 from you. It was an amazing show. and I recommend everyone goes ahead and watches it. It was a show nobody wanted, but everyone should watch. Much like Torchwood, nobody knew they wanted it until they watched it, and I think Class suffered because it was being aired on BBC Three, which at that point was only available on streaming, which nobody used. So it's a big shame. We should have aired it on prime time. So that's the end of Who We Who forever, and it brings us on to it's Brian now.
Yeah, so we're going to concentrate on some classic Who episodes going forward.
Yay!
And the first one is going to be City of Death. Rah.
Oh, that was actually that was a Whoniverse Hogwash question.
It might very well have been, yeah.
I think you got it wrong.
Very possibly. I will lend you the DVD, Jamie.
I can't keep it.
You can't keep it.
No, okay, I'll give it back then.
Lewis, you'll find a way of watching it.
I will, yes.
Legal, I hope.
Legal way of watching it.
So
If our lawyers are listening.
is this just one episode
It's
of
the
Classic?
whole show,
Oh,
the whole story,
So
City of
it's
Death.
four
25-minute episodes.
Which is
Okay.
about the length of a single Class episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to
I'll
that.
get your thoughts on that
Yep.
next week or the week after, depending on how long it takes.
So
to
what
talk.
sort of thoughts do you want on it?
The writing, the storyline behind it.
I mean, on
Set,
one of our rival
costumes.
podcasts called Podcastica, who actually inspired me to one of the inspirations behind this podcast, and we're actually a classic Doctor Who review show, and one of the things they discuss on their show quite frequently when reviewing an episode is pacing. So much in these episodes you don't need. Why is it there? There's literally 10 minutes of them walking down a corridor for no reason.
That's definitely true. A lot of the Pertwee episodes. There's 6 or 7 episodes long when they could have done it in 3.
Really?
But we'll move on to John Pertwee in a later edition. But yeah, so City of Death, thoughts, pacing, storyline. If you like Douglas Adams, you'll like City of Death.
Oh, he wrote this
He
one.
was involved with it. Yeah, I don't know how much of it he wrote.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. So that's the end of Who We Who. And it brings us on to
And a 1, and a 2, and a 1.
Whoniverse
2, 3,
Hogwash.
4.
Whoniverse Hogwash, Whoniverse Hogwash. She's a real, is it fake? My voice broke. Okay. Lewis? Not Lewis. Sorry, I'm going down with a cold, guys. Brian, you got the tally chart ready?
You think so, wouldn't you?
I could have done an extended theme tune. Whoniverse Hogwash. Whoniverse Hogwash. Is it real?
I've got the scorecard ready now.
Fake. Whoniverse Hogwash. Number 1. Who's winning? Is it a draw again?
It's a draw again. Is it 2-2 or 3-3?
I think it's
3-3.
3-3.
It's
Yeah.
3-3. Yeah.
So this is we're going to crown a champion today.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Doctor Who. Who's going first?
Who won last week? Me. So it's Bri first.
Who's who goes
Okay.
first?
I'll go first.
You're going to regret that, Lewis.
Probably, yeah.
Doctor Who and the Warlord. Oh, before I start, I just need to quickly go over the rules. Maximum of 10 points. 1 point for the description, 1 point for the title. You only have to say that it's Whoniverse. Oh, gosh. Are the rules clear? Stop trying to look up a sheet of paper.
Yes.
Go away!
Wait, that's my script.
You don't need a script for
answers.
Whoniverse or Hogwash. Doctor Who and the Warlord. The Doctor has been chasing his adversary across the galaxy as the Warlord has been selling illegal Dalek weaponry, funding wars on all sides, including the Sontarans and the Cybermen. Can the Warlord be stopped? Whoniverse or Hogwash?
Universe title, Hogwash description.
Lewis.
I'm going to go Whoniverse and Whoniverse.
Lewis, this one's going to hurt. Whoniverse Hogwash is the correct answer.
Oh.
Lewis, you messed up. The title is a text-adventure cassette game released on the BBC Micro back in 1985. The description, however, is a plot of Lord of War with a Doctor Who spin. Do you want me to read it out again for you?
No, that's fine.
The Doctor has been chasing his adversary across the galaxy as the Warlord has been selling illegal Dalek weaponry, funding wars on all sides, including Centaurans and Cybermen. Can the Warlord be stopped? And I guess it's from the perspective of the FBI agent.
Yeah. Who's played by Ethan Rayne.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I hate you, Jamie.
I hurt him every single episode, don't I?
I begin to think me watching very little science fiction other than Doctor Who is beginning to help.
Yeah, possibly.
It didn't help last week.
No.
Next one.
It's still redeemable. It's 1-1.
2-1.
2-1, sorry.
Children of the Night. The orphanage is quiet at night. Too quiet. In fact, where is everyone? The doors are locked, and the Doctor feels compelled to stay, like there's an invisible weight. Whoniverse Hogwash, Whoniverse Hogwash.
I'm going to say Children of the Night title is Hogwash and the description is Hogwash.
So you're saying Hogwash, Hogwash?
I am saying Hogwash.
Brian?
I'm saying Hogwash Whoniverse.
Children of the Night is actually a trance anthem released in 1996. Of the description I just made up, it's Hogwash, Hogwash.
Oh no! 2 points.
And 1 to you.
Lewis.
Yeah,
I said Hogwash Universe, so I got it wrong.
it's Hogwash, Hogwash.
Oh no, I got a point.
You got a point because one of them was.
And then Lewis
Yeah, we're
got
both
2,
on
so back to 3 all now.
Yeah. It's tense. It's tense.
Brian? He jests at scars. What if the Valiard had won at the end of a trial of the Time Lord? The Valiard take possession of the Doctor's lives, past and present, and become practically immortal.
No one really won at the end of Trial of the Time Lord, as I remember, but let's go Whoniverse.
Brian? Lewis?
Whoniverse Hogwash.
The answer. This is a Big Finish production from 2003. It's Whoniverse.
And just
Did
one
you say
for me.
this?
I
Yeah.
said Whoniverse Hogwash.
Alright.
5-4.
It's very close.
Independence Day. An enormous ship the size of the moon starts orbiting the Earth, deploying smaller Dalek ships which take position all over the world's major cities. Can the Doctor prevent the impending Dalek invasion once more? Lulu? I know what it's thinking. Is it a bluff or a double bluff?
It's definitely
Because
a
this
double
answer being right is the difference between him being in the lead.
Right, so I'm going to say Independence Day is Hogwash and the description is real.
Okay.
Universe.
So you're saying Hogwash Universe.
Yes.
I'm
Right.
saying Hogwash.
It's Whoniverse Hogwash. Lewis, this is going to hurt again.
Oh, go on.
So, Independence Day is a real episode, obviously. The description is actually the plot of Independence Day.
Yeah, no.
With a Doctor Who's spin. So I was really surprised when you said Whoniverse for it.
I understand that, but I was getting confused with an episode, Dark Invasion in 10th season.
So what's the current score?
I got 1 there because I said.
Yeah.
So
Lewis got
No.
nothing. So it's 7-4
To you?
to me.
I can't bring this back, or maybe I can. I don't know.
No, you can't.
No, I've got
Can I not?
1 more left.
How can you go?
No, it's 6-4.
It's 6-4, yeah.
It's not
Let's try,
7-4.
wasn't it?
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you get none and I get, then
Well,
it'd be
I
tie
just
break.
I don't have a tiebreaker because I can't imagine it ever being a tie when there's 10 points at stake.
Okay.
So the last question. Doctor Who and the Cave Monsters. All is not well At the Wenley Moore Underground Atomic Research Station, there are unaccountable losses of power output, nervous breakdowns among staff, and then a death.
Is it Brian to go first?
Yeah, it's Brian.
Yes, and I'm going to go for a double Whoniverse. Whoniverse.
Lulu?
I'm going to go with double hogwash then. Why not make it interesting?
Double hogwash.
Hang on a minute.
He's
Something's
actually
coming
got-
from the Ravenclaw bag.
For those listening at home, I brought with me Doctor Who and the Cave Monsters.
Holy.
A book published in 1974, written by Malcolm Hulk.
And it was just the blurb that you...
I just read the blurb out.
yeah, the blurb that you read.
It's based on the Silurians.
Are you familiar with that one, Brian?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so he had a bit of an advantage there.
Yeah.
I remember the novelisation being called Doctor and the Cave Monsters.
But
Uh,
I try.
Doctor and the Silurians had one of the highest body counts of any classic Who episode.
I tried to keep Whovian or Whoniverse and Hogwash very vague and very unknown. I wasn't expecting Brian to have heard of this book because it's failed in previous episodes. So
I think I've got it on DVD, so it could be one of our History lesson
So
episodes.
was the book actually made into an episode
No, it was the novelisation of the episode.
and of the same name?
It was called Doctor and the Silurians, and it was the only classic episode to be called Doctor Who Anda, rather than everything else being called City of Death or Genesis
City of
Dark.
Cave Monsters. It was very metal.
Mm.
The old Doctor Who titles. So once again, Brian's winning 4-3. He's our new Universal Hogwash champion. Yay!
So I
a
haven't
prize?
won the championship yet, and I feel...
Now people have been asking, how would we crown a champion of Universal Hogwash? So I'm thinking every first person to every... Who's calling you? So, to crown the champion of Universal Hogwash, I think it's first to 200 wins.
Okay,
Yeah,
First to 200.
first to 200 wins. I think that's quite fair.
so it's 4-3 at the moment.
Or 3 at the moment. Took us 8 weeks to get to this point. Who knows? It might
a
be,
minimum of another 196 episodes before we decide who's won.
and that's not counting in for when people are not available. Or this will be a couple of years down the line, and we'll have such a massive following. You know, we'll probably do the finals live in front of a live studio
Leeds
audience.
Arena.
So, it's our last topic now. This is actually one of our longer episodes, an hour and 7 minutes. Woohoo! So, don't forget to check our YouTube channel, Whovian Whoniverse. Just type Whovian Whoniverse into the search bar and watch our other series, Product Rewho. Last week's is the 13th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver, and next week's Product Rewho is the unboxing of the 12th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. There is going to be a new Doctor Who Product Rewho every Friday. Be sure to also check out our Twitter at Whoniverse, and thank you to Zip Farm for making our logo. Check out her deviant art. I don't know what she does over there. She draws pictures of zits being popped and swimming them. You do your frog stroke, your breaststroke. You do your doggy paddle through the zits. You get all the zit juice in your hair, and you make unicorn horns out of your hair using the guns. You have sword fights like a narwhal. Speaking of narwhals, they have a Jedi of the sea, aren't they? You can follow Brian.
At Beach007.
You can follow me at Watson's Musings, and you can follow Lewis,
At Elbrook 14.
or just follow him in real life. That's fine by us as well. You've been listening to Whovian Whoniverse. Have a week!